Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ. I just wanted to do a quick video about how the new event groups work. If you're trying to get your head around maybe making your own ones, I will do a separate tutorial about that. But until then, what I'll do is I'll put a link to Don Sibley's great tutorial in the description below this video. But just to talk about the files that are involved and how these events work. So a normal event that we've been used to has been something like a helicopter crash event, which is one vehicle. It's one item that spawns in the map with some zombies and some loot. The difference with these event groups is it's a whole load of different vehicles or items. So in this case, we've got a truck, we've got the main train engine, and then we've got loads of carriages. So they're a little bit different. They're working a little bit of a different way, and it can be a little bit difficult to get your head around. But I'm going to try and explain it here. So the files that we need to look at are events.xml, cfgeventspawns, cfgeventgroups, and mapgroupproto.xml. So the heart of it, as with lots of the dynamic events in DayZ, is events.xml and the actual event itself. So just like our helicopter spawns, we have an event. It's called static train in this case. There can be up to 3 of these on a server at any one time, and we have our normal safe distance radius, and cleanup radius. So these aren't always on the server at all times. They're kind of triggered as players get close to them, and they won't appear on top of you. So if an event isn't there, if you're too close to where the event should be, it's not going to suddenly pop up and appear in front of you. And that's where these distance radiuses and save radiuses come into place. You'll notice we have a secondary of infected industrial. So all of these train events, we're going to have infected industrial zombies. So the next thing is CFG event spawns, as you would expect, and this is the coordinates where these events can take place. So we've got all these X, Z's and A's and Y's, so it's kind of the position where it is on the map and the rotation that the event will take place at. What's different though is we have this extra bit called group train abandon cherno, which we'll kind of go on to in a minute. Now we've got dmin and dmax as well, so that relates to the number of zombies that will spawn, or the infected that will spawn with the event as well. So the difference again with these as well is that with these events is that with the helicopter events, for example, you'd have, say, the UH1, and the UH1 will just spawn somewhere according to the CFG event spawns. But there's nothing special about that UH1, it's just really its rotation it can have, and it can be plunked down anywhere. When you've got these groups of events though, it's a lot more complicated, so the game has to know for each individual place the different layout of the vehicles. So it's not like we're taking one group of vehicles and plonking them around the map. We've actually got unique groups of vehicles for each particular location, and this is where the group comes in. Train abandon cherno. So the event fires because a player is approaching, and the server's chosen that as the one that it wants to fire up. So then it goes to the cfgeventgroups.xml, and it looks for train abandon cherno, which is this top one here. And then what it does is, okay, train abandon cherno, and the first coordinate, which is the coordinate from the CFG event spawns, is the coordinate for the first thing that it spawns in. So it will spawn in static object rec train 742 red DE at the coordinates in the CFG eventspawns.xml at the rotation, or the yaw from there as well. So it spawns that in, and that's a bit like when the helicopter would spawn in on a helicopter crash. So that spawns in. Now what's different now is that all the rest of these items, these all spawn in relative to that first object or that first vehicle. So all of these aren't given their own X, Y, X and Z coordinates and A's for rotation. These are all given like plus or minus. So it's saying that the static object rec train is at X of 5587. So the next one, the wagon tanker, is at 5587 plus 12.085. So it's all relative. This is what makes them a little bit more complicated, that they don't have absolute coordinates. They have relative coordinates. And if you watch Don's video, you see the way that you can create these is you can use Vanilla++ on PC, and you can save them out, and it's quite easy to do actually. And the game then goes through and spawns all of these items relative to that first particular item and those first particular coordinates, adjusting them as they do. Now, what you can't do, I don't think, is you can't alter the pitch and yaw. So you can alter the rotation of vehicles and objects, but you can't can't tip them over on one side yet. I don't think so. That might be possible, but I haven't discovered a way to do it. And the final part of this is what loot do they spawn? Well, if you take, for example, Land Train Wagon Box DE, and we copy that, if we now go to mapgroupproto and we do a search for that, we can find there's an entry under mapgroupproto for this, and this tells the server what loot it should spawn at this particular train wagon box, and where it should spawn it relative to where it has spawned as well. So this one should spawn in tools, clothes, foods and explosives, and at these various points around the box, around the train. And so that works with that one. So hopefully that kind of explains how they work. So you've got your event entry, which fires the event spawn that tells the server where it should spawn that particular event and which group of objects spawn there, and these are all separate. They're not repeated at all. They're all different because they have to be, because the terrain is different. The event group tells the server which bits to spawn in, and they're all given coordinates relative to the first part. And the mapgroupproto then tells the game what sort of loot it can then spawn in. Okay, so hopefully that's useful. If it has been, hit like. I'll do a proper full tutorial that shows you how you can make your own soon, but please check out Don's link below because his is a good tutorial. And of course, I'll see you again soon.